Hey there, FakeFox here. In this video we will take a look at all mythics we have currently available for PvE healing. To save us all some time, I will not cover any items that are clearly not suited to healing, such as damage or tank mythics. So basically only mythics that increase either healing, sustain or support, or have some other kind of utility for us. So without further ado, let's start with the first mythic item, Crypt Canon Vestments. I have to admit here, I was a bit too harsh on this item in the past. So this light chest piece replaces our ultimate with an ability that distributes our current ultimate points evenly among our group and additionally gives us permanent minor heroism. There are multiple reasons I don't find this mythic to be particularly good. It removes a support ultimate from the group, and activating it does not proc sets like Master Architect or Pillager's Prophet. Further, it does not really increase the generated ultimate for the group, it just distributes it differently, so it does not really generate any actual value, while other ultimate generation sets do so. Nevertheless, Crypt Canon's Vestments has become somewhat popular in trials. So why is that? Basically, the reason is that supporters can simply currently generate more ultimate than they need, while damage dealers can never have enough ultimate really. So wearing Crypt Canon Vestments on a healer or tank who does not need another mythic and cannot utilize their support ultimate can make sense to give the damage dealers a bit more ultimate. On the other hand, apart from this situation, the item is not really that useful, but overall I would still rate it A tier. Next up is the Oconso Ring. It is the only item on this list that is literally worse than leaving the slot just empty, but hear me out. Having a second weapon is absolutely crucial to performing well as a healer. It allows us to properly fit two 5-piece sets with two 1 or 2-piece sets. The infused backbar enchantment is really important for support, and lastly, 5 ability slots is just not enough for any effective healing and support. On the other hand, what the Oconso Ring provides is largely irrelevant, as we can either get those buffs from other sources or we just do not even need them. Without a doubt, D tier. I said it in the beginning that I would only cover mythics suited for healing, but since there are a lot of people online claiming this is a good mythic, I felt like I had to cover it. But anyways, Pearls of Elnathay is next on the list. It is a necklace that generates 3 ultimate when we cast a healing ability while under 50% magicka. It generates an absolute shit ton of ultimate and synergizes perfectly with high healing power builds and many of the stronger support sets since they scale off ultimate. You will find a Ultigen healer with pearls in basically every trial group currently, and in dungeons it's probably also your best option if you want to go the full healer route. It's one of the more difficult to use items though, but for its sheer power it's an absolute S tier mythic. Ring of the Wild Hunt increases movement speed by 15% in combat and 45% outside of combat. Even if you do need more movement speed in fights, so for kiting rolls for example, there are just better options. But if you use add-ons to swap items, this is absolutely amazing for just being faster in between encounters. Just an amazing quality of life item that is, for me personally, B tier overall. Smolder of Ruin is a light shoulder. It gives us an aura that decreases our sustain to give the group more damage. It is pretty damn strong and also easy to use. You just need to build more sustain, that's it. This is no doubt your best support option if you can't handle the Pearls of Elnathay minigame, especially in dungeons. And in trials, this is also often used by the second healer, another S tier mythic. Next up is Cyras Ward. It disables movement while blocking and increases block damage for nearby players by 30%. It's a pretty niche thing, but in encounters where the group needs to block a lot of damage and we don't need another mythic, it's honestly not really bad. Overall, I think B tier is a fair rating. Torque of Tonal Constancy is a necklace that increases magicka recovery while stamina is under 50% and vice versa. It's kind of strong on paper, but just too complicated in my opinion, and sacrificing the mythic slot for a sustain minigame also just doesn't really make sense. It's C tier.
Lastly, there are a few, let's call them stat stick mythics, that also work for healers. These are Death Dealer's Feet, Markin Ring of Majesty, and Mora's Whispers. Generally, we want every item we wear to have some actual function, usually support, but it can happen that we have an open slot that we don't have any use for, and then one of these is of course better than just a random item without even a set bonus. Therefore, I rate these 3 C tier. And with that, we have covered all the relevant mythics for PvE healing. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask them in the comments. And I would also appreciate it if you support my channel by liking the video and subscribing. Thanks for watching, and bye.